you got to turn your mic on at the bottom, and then we should be on, and you can pray, and then we will go.
Heavenly Father, we just pray, Lord God, that you would bless each and every one of us this morning, Lord God. Bless our marriages, Lord. Refresh, restore, renew, Lord. I pray, Heavenly Father, that the lesson would minister to our hearts, that we would listen with our ears, but also with our hearts, Heavenly Father. And Lord, I just pray, Lord God, that you would just minister through Pastor Allan and through Pastor Thaler. In Jesus' name, amen.
Stay married and not kill anybody. Step number one, you've got to avoid bitterness and resentment. Now, bitterness and resentment can build when one person feels they are unfairly bearing the burden of the relationship. When the weight of the relationship falls more on their shoulder than the other one's shoulder, then they will start to feel very bitter and resentful towards their spouse. Now, how men and women keep score is very different from each other to determine who's carrying the most amount of weight. Now, what I'm about to share with you, people ask me a lot, where did you learn all this stuff? What are your different influences? And, 32 years of marriage, that's one influence. But a lot of different people and listening to stuff, and I hear ideas, and I take them and change them and stuff. This particular, one of the guys that had probably a huge impact in my life about relationships was John Gray. And I think the guy's absolutely brilliant. I'm not funnier than he is, but he's brilliant. All right? And this section is Gray to the T. Okay, I just admit it right up front. But the reason I share this because his insights on how men and women keep score is absolutely brilliant. It truly is. You see, men, when it comes to us keeping score, we're quick to give ourselves huge bonus points for everything we do. We crawl out of bed when we'd rather stay in, and just for that we give ourselves 500 points. And then we go to work, and we put up with all the stuff at work, we earn the paycheck, and we give ourselves, 2,000 points for that. We come home without chasing other women, and we give ourselves huge points for that, So we walk in the door, it's like 4,500, And that's why a lot of men have no problem sitting on the couch and now contributing nothing. Because in his mind, he's way up in points for the day, and now he's giving you a chance to catch up. Now, I didn't say it was right. Don't get mad at me. I'm just saying this is the way his brain ticks. And a lot of guys will actually start feeling very bitter towards their wives if they feel their wives are trying to make them do stuff. Because in his male psyche, he's way up in points for the day. He shouldn't have to do anything else. Now, the problem here is that women keep score a little differently. Let me show you how a woman would score the same man's day. He gets out of bed when he'd rather stay in, and for that, she loves and appreciates him and gives him, ding, 1 point. And then he goes to work, and he earns a big paycheck, he does all this stuff, and she goes, I love that, and she goes, ding, 1 point. And then he comes home without chasing other women, and he comes home, and she's so glad to see him, ding, 1 point. So you walk in, you got 3. Well, she also got up, she also went to work, she also cleaned the toilet, she also took the kids to piano lessons, she also had, it's 13 to 3. And you don't want to do anything? And now she starts screaming at her husband, which in a way is a good thing, because it's the silent ones who really do kill people. If it gets quieter on your house, I get nervous about you. So, she starts getting very, very angry. Now, when guys first hear about this, they get very discouraged. They go, wait a minute. You mean to tell me that no matter what I do, I get 1 lousy stinking point? Well, the answer is yes. But the good news is you can make this work for you. Because what men fail to realize is that women respond to virtually any simple act of kindness and reward it the same way as they would a big act of kindness. Right? Now, guys don't understand this. They think it's got to be big. It's got to be special. First, you have to understand the reason why we don't do a lot of small things around the house is because to a man, it doesn't mean anything. It's not that we hate you. We just couldn't possibly care less. It means nothing, and because it means nothing to us, we think it should mean nothing to you. But guys, you can't make that mistake. She scores very differently from you. Simple acts of kindness. It's those simple, like I told you last night, it's those simple acts of kindness that got her to fall in love with you in the first place. It's relatively easy to get a woman to fall in love with you if she'll pay attention to you in the first place. That's the hard part. You cross that hurdle, you got it made. As long as you pay attention. Simple acts of kindness. So you do that, you can keep a woman crazy in love with you for your entire life. Simple acts of kindness. Every time you do a simple act of kindness. Ding! 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 But guys, we don't think that way. If it's got to be big, it's got to be important. That's why a lot of guys, they'll only go all out for their wives, about 4 times a year. Birthdays, anniversaries, Christmas, and the obligatory Valentine's Day. And we think we'll do something real special and real fancy, and we think, well, that'll hold her. But that doesn't hold her. To her, you've done 4 things all year, you bum. Now, guys, again, they get discouraged. Oh, crying out. You mean, I can't believe it. But listen, you can make this work for you. This is great. I'm about to show you how you can succeed with a woman while doing virtually nothing. All right? I thought I'd get an applause out of that, but I don't know. I don't like the sound of this. Now, here's an example. You get up in the morning, your wife's brushing her teeth, you're standing next to the bed. Make the bed. It takes 120 seconds of your life. It's nothing. She'll walk into the room and go, oh, you made the bed. Ding! You know that monument that you're building in the middle of your bedroom of old underwear? Pick it up. Throw it in the hamper. She'll walk in. He picked up his underwear. Ding! When you're done eating dinner, instead of just slugging off in front of the TV like Jabba the Hutt, clear off the table. It's 60, 90 seconds of your life. It's nothing. She'll go, he cleared off the table. Ding! And now you're scoring. Ding. But see, guys don't get that. Gray uses this great analogy. He says, if you bring a woman a rose, she'll go, oh, ding! And then men, we think, wait a minute. 1 rose, 1 point? A dozen roses, 12 points. So we run out and we spend, 80, 90 bucks for a dozen long stem roses, and we bring them to her. And she goes, oh, thank you! Ding! In fact, by the raising of your hand, how many women would say, I would rather receive a single rose 12 different times than a dozen roses once? Let me see your hand. See, now a guy looks at that and goes, so inefficient. You want to make out like a bandit on this deal? Plan something special for your wife, like taking her out to dinner next Friday night. Nice restaurant. Go ahead and get a babysitter in advance. Get everything all set. But then tell her what you've done. A lot of guys will think, oh, I'll surprise her. No, you amateur. Surprise her. Never try to surprise a woman. So, what you do is you tell her in advance. The minute you tell her, honey, guess what? Next Friday night we're going to such. I got some nice reservations. I already got a babysitter. We're gonna have a great time. The minute you tell her what you're going to do, ding! You just got a point. You haven't done it yet. then because she's a woman, she's going to tell all the other women in her life about what you've planned. And every time she shares with another girl, you know what Bob's got planned? He's already, next Friday night, he's got reservations and such, and he's already got a babysitter. So excited. Every time she shares that story, ding! You get another point. And now you are literally doing nothing. And the beauty of that system is, every time you're earning a point, the husband of the other wife, that poor slob, is losing one. Just kind of like a double coupon thing going for you. You really want to make out like a bandit? Engage your wife in meaningful conversation. Now, to a lot of women, meaningful conversation means she talks, you shut up and listen. But you can't just drift off into your nothing box. You have to let her know that you're hearing her. Every time you acknowledge that you've heard her, ding! So she'll go, la, 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 la. You go, you don't say. Ding! La, 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 la. You mean loop-de-doo? Ding! La, 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 la. Really well. How did that make you feel? Ding, 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 ding. And you're doing nothing!
I noticed that was all the women clapping. I have to tell you, I don't necessarily agree with everything that he said on that. I will tell you that just yesterday, I made the bed. Oh no, hold your dates. Okay? I wasn't even asked to make the bed. I didn't see her go ding. I didn't hear her say ding. I don't even felt like there was a ding. Right? She did. Right? How many men have made the bed before and you felt that I'm going to say this didn't happen yesterday, but how many of you have made the bed before and your wife just kind of looks at it and goes, well, that's not right. Exactly. You know, he got up there and he said, it's 120 seconds. Man, I can't even put the pillows on my bed in 120 seconds. Okay? No, because you know you got the pillows that you sleep on, and then you got the foo-foo pillows, and if the foo-foo pillows aren't right, then it looks like, oh my God, I didn't do it right. You know? And before you make the bed, you know, guys are like, we don't even make beds. We're just going to get into it again at nighttime anyway, so what difference does it make, right? Okay? But it's like, you never know who's coming over. Well, don't show them the bedroom. You know? I mean, I don't care, but the women, they want the bed made, and guys, okay, even if we do have to make the bed, it's like, okay, well, the exterminator's coming over, and they're going to start in the bedroom, because God only knows what's in there. And so, I got to make the bed. So we take, easy girl. So we take the sheet, we put it on the bed. I don't care if it's straight. I'm not going to take the bottom sheet and tuck it. It's got to be like army tight to where, you got to stretch out those corners every time and lay the bedspread and then the comforter and then, there's like 14 different things that you put on the bed. God forbid it's winter because then you got blankets on top of that, right? Guys don't care. So if you can make the bed in 120 seconds, you're a stud. Okay? Because I'm not that person that can do that. I don't necessarily agree with the 120 second thing with the bed. I don't necessarily know. Did you notice that I made the bed yesterday?
I did. And I'm sorry I didn't acknowledge it.
No, I don't need the acknowledgement. See, the thing was, I didn't do it for acknowledgement. I just did it because I don't typically do it. It was just one of those days where it's like she was still getting ready and I had time, and so instead of pacing and making them nervous, because guys get ready faster than women, and so what do we tend to do? They're in the mirror, they're putting on their makeup, and we're pacing back and forth. Can you just stop that? It drives a woman nuts, She wants you to be like the kids. Go turn on cartoons, sit on the couch, and I'll be with you in just a few minutes, okay? Just Scooby-Doo's gotta be on. Just go find it. Yes.
I have to say, I take exception to that. If you happen to marry a guy who's been in the military, they make the best beds. Right?
No, I understand. That's great. Okay, I'm happy to say that I didn't serve in the military. Therefore, I could care less how tight, But don't get me wrong. When she does that, she makes the bed. I like getting into the sheets and they're nice and tight and everything. But if I had to do it, it's like, no, I don't care. But
just so you know, we're graduating to pillows because I'm tired of pillows too.
what does that mean? Does that mean it's going to take? Does that mean is it going to take longer to make the bed? No, it's easier. Because I'm going to be like, okay, are we getting rid of the pillows? Sacrificial burning? No? All right. Anyway, I just felt the need to say that, but he's good. He does. So men have a way of thinking big. And why doesn't it work with scoring points?
Because women grade them the same way as small things?
Women grade them differently, but yes. To us, we do. We pat ourselves on the back for doing this. Man, I made the bed. That was, well, for me, if I make the bed myself, I'm going to guess it takes me 5 minutes. Because we do. You got to straighten out the bottom sheet, and I know if I don't do that, she'd be just like, well, you might as well not have done it anyway. Because you didn't do it to my. It's kind of like, when you tell your kids to clean the room and they just kind of push everything under the bed. It's not really done to my satisfaction. So in essence, you really didn't do it. So, you get nothing for that. You get nothing. Yeah, it's minus a point. Instead of ding, it's gain. Yes.
Is there a way we could get a piece of plywood and glue all the pillows?
You know what? Let me tell you something. I think you take that to the Shark Tank on TV, you may just have the next marketable idea. That's just all in one piece. You make them in different sizes, king, queen, twin, full, right? And if you do it with Velcro, they can interchange the pillows. All snap. All snap. We should go partners.
You only get 50% of the audience, though.
That's okay. I'd rather have 50% of something than all of nothing. Right? So, anybody else want to contribute as to why our way of thinking big doesn't work when it comes to scoring points? No? All right, you guys here, Bill?
It's still only one act, a simple one act of praise. Regardless of how much you bring to them, it's still one act.
Okay. So, So guys, is it safe to say that when you go outside and you cut the grass and you edge and then you sweep, it's really just
1 point.
1 point? They did the yard. No, I cut the grass, I edged, I swept. You know, even if I did use the blower and put it on the neighbor's lawn or out in the street, I still made the attempt to make our area look good. Okay? Right? It's 1 point. Right?
So do men need to know that, I guess my question would be, for the ladies and for everybody, I guess acknowledging that you did something is important. I mean, because women don't get acknowledged for all the little things they do all day long. True. So does that...
This is a trick question, guys. This is a trick question, okay? You better be very careful how you answer this. Okay? I myself I'm choosing to opt out of this question. So if there's anybody else that would like to participate in answering this, I'm good with that. Anybody? Smart. Oh yeah, you're
I
safe.
agree
Go
with
ahead.
what Claudina said to the extent that if Linda could be working on 12 different things and I'll come home and she won't say a word about it. If I'm working on 12 different things, I'll spend more time telling her about the things that I did than the time I spent doing those things.
It's amazing because when guys if guys are home for some reason, and let's say, you know, the woman goes out and takes the kids shopping or whatever, and it's like she leaves you home to do some things. Oh, you better believe that the man's going to let you know everything that he did when you get back. Well, you know, I picked up that piece of plastic that was on the kitchen floor, you know, because I don't know, the kids walked by it and everybody was walking by it, and then I vacuumed that one room. No, that's a closet, honey. Okay, I vacuumed the closet, okay, and then I wiped down the counter with what? The dirty sponge, but I wiped it down, you know, and you know, so we want to make sure that they know everything that we did, whether we did it right, wrong, or indifferently. We want the credit for it. I think it would be kind of a table turn kind of thing if the men walked in the door and the women started with, you know, well, let me tell you about my day. Let me tell you all the things that I did. Because the men would be like, that's overwhelming for us. Because we do take it for granted as to, Claudina loves to tell me all the time, I don't just sit here twiddling my thumbs all day. You know, I didn't say that you didn't. No, but I'm just letting you know, okay, all right. No, I can see that you did a lot, you know. But we take it for granted and we don't necessarily always acknowledge what they've done. Yes?
I think it also is structured based on how you were raised. Because with me, I was brought up in a military family, so it was just like, if you make a mess, you clean. So sometimes she'll come in and be like, oh, you clean, and I'm not trying to get her to acknowledge it or anything else. It's just like, it was a mess. Clean it. That's all it is. But then, you know, sometimes she comes home and then it's just like a checklist, like, you do this, yes, you do this, yes, you do this, yes. I'm just like, I don't feel like I need to tell you because, you know, I got it done. It's all right.
Some guys actually will try to construct things the way that they pile things up in the sink. They'll start with a base plate, and then around snack time when that bowl of cereal comes in, they may turn the bowl upside down and lay it on the plate just to be able to stack more, you know. So we can get pretty creative on, you know, let the silverware come out like arms, you know. So where women have a hard time with us, like, oh my God, it's clutter, I can't stand it. Someone's got to clean. Oh, I'm gonna faint. You know, it's like you have a hard time with things being in the sink for any long period of time, and then if there's food attached to it, it's like, oh my God, can you just rinse it? Can you rinse it? If you're not gonna put it in the dishwasher, just rinse it. Well, that stuff growing fur on the inside, you know, I love going into the garage and finding random things. You know, there's just things growing fur. You know, it's like, do you rinse it or do you just throw it away at that point? Well, you know, it's whatever it is, and it's like either the kids do it or whatever. It's amazing what happens when you have other people living in the house and you don't know where everything else is. Where's that one bowl? I think it's slot outside. We were using it to dig a hole. What? Okay. So ladies, why is it that the big things score the same number as points as the simple things? Somebody explain to us why that is. Yes, in your infinite wisdom, Miss Shirley, tell us why.
I'm going to fall flat on my face. The difference is the importance of the simple things in our own categories, in our minds. Everything that you said so far comes through, but what we need to acknowledge is we all appreciate being appreciated, and the small things and the big things still require, thank you for doing that, my love. It's a simple thing, but it means a great deal instead. Gee, I'm glad you finally got around to it.
So that's just reinforcement of it's not what you say, it's how you say it.
Yeah.
Right? Anybody want, any ladies want to add to that? Yes? Of course you do.
Well, just for that. I think if the woman feels as though it's something that they're expected to do, then they're just complying with society or whatever the expectation is. If it's a special holiday, and so that doesn't explain the point system, but to us as women, we want to know that you're thinking about us. And so when it's something unexpected, and I do want to speak to trying to surprise us, but it's more important that we know that you're thinking about us and that your thoughts sometimes come into action. And I agree with Shirley that we do need to be saying thank you to one another more often and acknowledging in loving ways, because that nurtures the relationship. But I think in the point system is that really for women, we get you bonus points, like he was saying, when you really are showing that you're involved and caring about what's going in our inner beings and our thoughts. And I think that Bill is really good at, but like he pointed out last week, when I talk about him, he's well-trained. I mean, come on, 47 years. So whatever I say, you youngins forget. Just keep working it. But it is a matter of he's realized that in the partnership, that at home, he does take equal responsibility. And so I really sometimes forget to say thank you when he's doing something that really normally would be a woman thing. Getting up and putting the dishes in the dishwasher and those kinds of things. And so anyway, I think that it's important that when you work as a team, that you're really supporting one another in what you're doing. And the surprise thing, Bill has our whole married life tried to surprise me. He's maybe done it twice, and it didn't work well. One time, he surprised me for my 50th birthday and got me lessons to be a pilot. I told him when we got married that I wanted to get my pilot's license. He told me I could on my 90th birthday.
Okay.
Yeah, well, anyway, he told me at breakfast that he had a lesson for me, breakfast on my 50th birthday, forgetting that I get motion sick. So I hadn't had anything for motion sickness. Yes, going up in a plane. Yes. Yes. But the thought was really good. It was really, really nice.
So you feel as though after 47 years you got him trained?
Oh, no.
No.
No, but we're a long way away. I mean, we're doing well.
And how's that shock therapy working for you, Bill?
When we first got married, I wanted her to stay exactly like she was,
Right,
and she wanted me to change.
right.
But that
And we're
just
just
adds
leaving it
all
as that.
chocolate.
All right. So, ladies, what kinds of small things can men do to score points with their wives? Small things. Yes. Love note. Okay. You don't have your hands up yet, Mrs. Thaler? No? Okay. Yes.
Changing diapers.
Changing diapers. Okay. I don't have to worry about that. Next. Monique. Excuse me? By themselves or with you? I'm sorry? Okay. I didn't get the answer to the question, though. Did you want us to go together? Gotcha. Okay. Anybody else? Anybody else? Nothing else? Yes.
Ruben comes and he'll come in the front room and asks me, do you need help? And I tell him no, but he goes in there and does the dishes. He goes
So,
and helps.
ignore what you say and do it anyway.
Yeah, I like that, though. I want him to come and help.
Okay. What else, ladies? Okay, go ahead, Anthony. You are. Why are you following up my question with a question? That is not in the book. Okay? That's not feedback. That's another question. What's your question?
The question was, obviously from what it's saying, it's just for a man to act out of character in a positive way towards, their, their lady. Instead of acting like a man, we don't take anything, the little things for anything for granted or whatever, but the whole situation is, what it sounds like, they just want a guy to act out of character.
They want, it changes. It depends on what day it is, what time it is, what's going on. Sometimes they want that manly man, masculine take charge, and then the other times they want you to listen to what they're telling to them. Listen to what they're telling you, and do exactly what you're being told. Don't stray from what you're being told. And so that's why psychologists are available to us, so that men can go get counseling and try to figure out exactly where we fit in. You just need to start off the day. Who do you want me to be today? Okay? Do you want me to be Superman or Eeyore? Just tell me which one you want me to be today. Okay? Yes, Mr. Larson. Oh, I do that. I do that. I send it to myself. I gotta tell myself I love you. I do that, don't I? I do that, right? Okay. Yeah. She's like, ding. That wasn't even a ding, that was a ding. What? Who? Kelly? You gotta put your hand up in the air and maybe like you just don't care. Go ahead. Yeah, no, okay.
I just tell her not to cause me any extra work.
Thank you for that. That's encouraging. All right. At that point, I think we're going to move on. Ladies, if your husbands followed Mark's plan of engaging you in meaningful conversation, would that be pleasing to you? Yes or no? Yes. That's 4 of you that answered. Some of you are just really lazy. You can't even. I'm not even asking you to raise your hand. You just can't even blurt out yes or no.
Yes.
Okay, that's another 4 of you. Let me try in unison asking the question. If your husband's engaged in meaningful conversation, would that be pleasing to you?
Yes.
Is there any women that would say no? Yes, I would say no. Okay. Would your husband score points if they did that?
Yes.
All right, that sounds more like 10 of you. All right, we're making progress. If you look at Proverbs 11:17, it says, those who are kind benefit themselves, but the cruel bring ruin on themselves. Ecclesiastes 9:9 says, life is short and you love your wife, so enjoy being with her. This is what you're supposed to do as you struggle through life on this earth. So, with those two things being said, we're going to look at the next clip, which is about 4.5 minutes, and then I'll come right back to you.
Now, guys, girls, sorry. Now, girls, you can't forget that he gives himself huge bonus points for everything he does. So how can a woman earn huge bonus points with a man? So, sex is a great way to earn great bonus points with a man. But there's another way. And that is when you believe in him. Every man wants his wife to believe in him. Now that sounds like a simple thing to do, especially to you young girls who haven't been married very long. But that's because you haven't heard the incredible stupid ideas he's going to come up with yet. And a lot of women, they feel it's their God-given ability or responsibility to try and keep their husbands humble or something, because they'll come up with this idea and they respond, "That's stupid. Oh, that'll never work. You could never do that." And they don't realize when you talk to a man like that, you are doing incredible damage to him and to your relationship with him. Men, if you have not figured this out yet, men have very, very fragile egos. We just do. We might look like tough guys on the outside, but we're girly men on the inside because we can't handle that kind of rejection, all that kind of stuff and criticism. Most men don't handle very well. And when women treat their husbands that way, when he tries to share his dreams with you and you dismiss them as stupid and ignorant and he can't do that, that's very, very, very damaging. Now that's not to say you can't challenge his ideas. Keep him from destroying himself and the family. That's okay. But you need to be his number one fan. Because I'll tell you what happens. When you do that, you know what he learns? I cannot share my dreams with this woman. And men will stop telling their wives their dreams. If your husband never tells you his dreams, you guys might need to have a serious talk. And the reason he's not telling you is probably because you have given that kind of reactions to him. And it's very damaging to a man. And now you got yourself in a really bad place because almost miraculously at work there's some bimbo there who just accidentally hears one of his ideas and goes, "Oh, that would be a great idea." "Oh, really? Oh, yeah, you'd be great at that." "Oh, well." And now you're in serious trouble. You need to understand something, girls. Most affairs do not begin for sexual reasons. They begin for emotional ones. And you need to let that boy know that you are his number one fan. And it's hard for a lot of women. I'll tell you who really struggles with this. Women of professional men. Doctors, lawyers, preachers' wives. A lot of them really struggle with this. Why? Because they get so tired of hearing everybody praise their husband. "Oh, you're so great, he's so great, it must be wonderful, it must be wonderful." I've heard with my own ears of women, as soon as they came into the door, she says, "Everybody thinks you're so smart. I know what an idiot you are." What is she thinking? She's doing God's work somehow? Everybody thinks you're so great. I know how stupid you really are. Huge damage to the relationships. You need to let that boy know you are his number one fan. And as much as I love it when people come up to me after these seminars and say, "Oh, you were great, I loved you," and I do love that because I have an ego the size of Texas, And the one that means the most to me is when that cute redhead comes up to me and says, "You did a great job today." And I know the only reason she says that is because I just said this now. And I don't care.
redhead is his wife.
Oh.
Okay? Not that he wanted some other redhead coming up to him and telling him how great he was. All right, so, why is it so critically important that wives believe in their husbands?
That wives what?
Believe in their husbands. Yes, Fabiola.
I think it's important to let him know that I believe in him because he's the head of the household, he's a guy that's hard, I want to make sure that when he steps out of the house, he's confident in what he's going to do today and who he's going to be. And I want him to know that he's very smart. He's incredibly smart. I think by far the, yeah, I'm not.
Did you see him go ding? Who else? Yes.
The Phillips trust to the relationship, right? I mean, they're going to, the communication will open up a little bit more because they're not going to constantly be afraid of what's going to come out of their mouth.
Okay. What else? Yes.
It's a self-esteem issue, like you said. It strokes our ego a little bit. It makes us feel good about ourselves. It makes us feel appreciated, like this woman trusts me and everything that we got on.
So let me follow that up with another question since you did that to me. Ladies, do you think that it's bad for a man to have an ego? No? So then my question would be, why do you have such a hard time stroking it? The ego. So you like us to have an ego but not too big of an ego. So you want us to be confident but not too confident. You want us to be a man but not too much of a man. Okay? You want us to be controlling but not too controlling. You want us to be loving but not too loving. You want us to be feeling but not too feeling. You want us to have emotion but not too many emotions. And you wonder why people drink. Erica, did you have a baby? Did you have a baby? Oh my. No, did you have a question? I didn't even see you raise your hand. Well, you can't. Don't drop the baby. Put your hand down.
There's something that I learned, and like there's a difference between ego and being prideful. Not prideful where you're stumbling and falling, but prideful where you like hold your family up high and you do for your family with all your heart. But there's an ego. I think an ego would be good if it's in a positive way and brings edifying to your family, or it could be ego, which could be edgy and flat out. So
So I think you bring up a very good point. I'll let Adria comment and then I'll go into my comment.
When we believe in our husbands, we build a stronger bond.
Stronger bond? Okay, yes.
We want to be their knight in shining armor.
That's right.
You know, that's what encourages us, drives us, and helps us to respond.
Okay. You know, I hear what the comments are being made, and I think that each one of them are valid in their own way. And I just want to address the fact that, you know, let me just ask you this real quick, just by a show of hands. How many of you are either yourselves, don't raise your hands yet, because this way we'll cover a multitude. Either you yourself as a couple are going through struggles, or you know somebody else as a couple that's going through struggles, raise your hand. Okay? Most everybody in this room. Okay? And if you've been coming to Fusion for any period of time, you've heard me say over and over and over again that I think that the majority of the problems are caused by two things, and that's pride and selfishness. And I think that what Claudina said is extremely valid in the fact that, you know, you want to know, and it has to be a mutual thing. And one of the things that, you know, I can't help but to continually bring up is we are so quick to point the finger at the other person and either say, they do this too much, they don't do this enough, or whatever the case may be. And we're always trying to put on the other person the faults of the relationship. Not to say that there's not validity to where the lack may be, but at the same time, I think that people have this mentality of giving up way too easy. And I think that that is prevalent just as much in the church as it is outside of the church. And that we have this attitude of, well, I'm just not going to fight anymore. I'm just not going to do it anymore because they're not trying to be. And time after time after time after time, we've heard, we've seen, we've read, we've listened, all of these different things of, instead of worrying so much about the other person being who you think they should be, why don't we just concentrate on the person that we're called to be and see if things don't fall in line after that? You know, like I've said, it's really hard to have an argument with two people when only one is arguing, right? And so too, if you want to lay it on somebody else that everything in the relationship is their fault, then how is that making it better? Instead of trying to find the faults of that person, why don't you concentrate on what are we going to do to get through it? Instead of, this is a deal breaker, I can't do this anymore, I'm tired of this, I'm tired of that. You know what? You weren't tired when you said I do. All of that glory and honor of, oh, I want to get married, I want to walk down the aisle, I want them to spend a fortune so we don't buy a house on the wedding, I want to, you know, I want all of these things, but everything is so quickly sacrificed afterwards because it's work. Nobody said marriage was going to be easy, and if they did, they lied to you. If someone told you the day before you were going to get married, I'm so happy for you, they were lying. But they said, they just knew what you were in store for, and they were glad that now you're going to go through that. That's why they said, I'm so happy for you. No, they were happy for you. But did anybody sit down and tell you marriage is a lot of work? Did anybody sit down and tell you, oh, you're going to have just as many troubles as you are good times? Did anybody sit down and tell you that there's going to have to be sacrifice on your part? There's going to be giving of yourself. There's going to be, you better become a master negotiator because you are going to have to give up things. Nobody told us that. And then you enter into this situation where all of a sudden it becomes a lie. Well, this is not what it's supposed to be like. You're not acting the way that the picture-perfect man is supposed to act. You're not treating me like the perfect woman is supposed to be treated. So therefore I resign. I'm not willing to put any more work into it. Don't be a wuss. Marriage is work. It's a full-time job. And if you're not willing to, if you don't want to be labeled as a quitter, now don't get me wrong, I know, because some people have this thing, well, there's some things that, yes, there are some things. And if we want to get into a Bible study, we can get into a Bible study of what God allows for times of divorce. And people have come to me and they've said to me, at what point am I okay to give up on my marriage? At what point? At no point. Okay? Bottom line is this. God hates divorce. That's the bottom line. If you call yourself a Christian, you believe in the Bible, then you better believe every bit of the Bible. The Bible says God hates divorce. So, you better work on it. And you better be willing to work on it, both for you and for your spouse.
And your children.
And your children. And did I sound a little rough the last few minutes? I wanted to. I wanted to be mean. To be honest with you guys, I'm tired. I am really tired of hearing people that are like, oh, they're going through it. Well, you're going to go through it. Guess what? You go through it. Is there anyone here that doesn't go through it? Well, you sleep too much, Bill, so you don't count. But,
The same analogy applies when we come to the Lord.
what?
The same analogy applies when we come to the Lord.
Yeah, well, that's true.
You don't tell people not come to the Lord, you're going to take your cross and follow the Lord. You're going to,
Right.
I mean,
You're going to go right to heaven.
The more we love the Lord, the more we want to submit to Him.
That's true.
But it's not all peaches and cream, is it?
No, it's not. And you don't walk away from the Lord. Yes.
I think the way society is structured anymore, people look for the easy way out.
Yeah.
They give up too easily.
Yeah.
But that's just the way it is nowadays.
Well, and that's why we're trying to change that. We're trying to give you the tools, the guts, and the determination to make sure that regardless of what comes your way, you're going to work on your relationship. Frank's about ready to jump up and attack me if I don't let him.
I'm just repeating something I've said before.
Is it sexual?
No. Surprise. But you've got to be willing to crucify I.
Yeah, that's true.
You've
Yes.
got to be a.
No, you're right.
I think that what I love about being transparent, and it's not easy for Pastor Allan and I to come up here and just be transparent because we want you to know that this is just the way that life is. Life has its ups, it has its downs, it has its struggles, and everybody goes through it. And why? Because we're human beings, because we're strong-willed. If you have somebody that has a brain, chances, if you're married to somebody that has a brain, chances
How many years?
47.
Back to sleep.
Sometimes it's 74. Oh, that's right, I'm dyslexic. That we've been down a slide of razor blades into salt water in 47 years. I'm telling you what, there's one word, commitment. And so, you know, we can hurt, we can bleed, but we, like Claudina said, we stuck together. And what we've learned within the last year is that we focus on one another's good points.
Yes.
We don't ignore, we pray about those, but we have stopped focusing on if only. And it has changed our relationship completely. And I heard him in the dentist, we were just there Thursday, and he's going on and on, although he's done this for years and I've learned about what a wonderful wife he has and all of, you know, my good attributes. And what was funny is, well, I didn't hear him, the nurse came over, and I have been doing the same thing. And as we rehearse those good attributes, they become the center of our thoughts. And then we have an opportunity to actually enforce or reinforce those in our spouse. And I praise God for that.
That's good. Frank?
Yeah, I'd like to share something for all the young couples here that my wife and I, you know, we learned this a long time ago. We've been married 37 years. And you hit it on the head. Selfishness and pride. What I see that most couples don't do is pray together.
Right?
And I'm not talking about food or when you're going to bed. And not so much pray for something, but when you are mad at your wife, or you said something or she said, that's when you gotta get together and pray. Because you gotta, the pride has to go to selfish, and that's the only way that you can come together. And if you would take a survey of Christian couples, they don't pray together. Pastors' wives and husbands don't even pray together. And that's the secret, because it's not what you're going to pray for. It's the selfishness and the pride that you said is the big problem.
That's right.
That's true, yes.
The thing that my parents taught us as children, we could not call one another down or call one another names of any kind. You don't say stupid, and you don't say words that are put downs. And this applies to when you're a teenager, when you start dating, how you behave to the person who's treating you nice, who's wanting to be a good impression on you. And when you marry, you still remain the person you want to be for them and treat them the way you yourself should be treated. And the lying doesn't even enter into it, because, as I said to my kids, when you lie to me, I'm believing you. You are lying to yourself, because you're the one that knows you're lying. So build up the good things and forget about the other, and it'll go away.
Yeah. Well, I appreciate the input. I think that a lot of people, you know, in the younger generations, it's common sense. You know, if you talk to each other with lack of respect, there's no respect in the relationship. You know, I can remember my parents calling each other. It was actually my mom and my dad and my stepmom. I can remember them calling each other names. Oh, we're just joking, but it absolutely shows no respect whatsoever. And then when there's no respect in that, then there's no respect and it carries throughout the relationship, you know? And you guys are in control of your own destinies, you know? The way you act, what you say, the way you handle things, that's the way that you determine whether you're going to make it or not. What you put into it, you're going to get out of it. You know, if you have that attitude like, well, it's easy enough for me to get out of the relationship, then that's always in the back of your mind.
That's right.
You know? Why can't you just have this attitude of, there is no quitting? There's no quitting. We're going to get through this, one way or the other. It may not be today, it may not be next week, it may not be next month. You know, how many of you have gone through a desert or a trial or a tribulation for more than a year? Hello? Welcome to the real world. I don't understand why. I don't understand why either, but nonetheless, here we are. So we got two ways we can handle it. You know, we can drown in misery, or we can just stay the course until things get better. And they will get better. Hello? why is harsh criticism so detrimental to most men? Or actually, that's an open question. Men can answer that too. Why is that harsh criticism so detrimental to us?
Because it puts you down.
Puts us down? What kind of an effect does it have on us? Yes.
I think it's detrimental to the men because they have such a vast scoring system. Their brains work differently than ours, and they're taught to be men, and they need to always be in front and be bold. And for the woman to come in and start at them, you're tearing them down.
Can you do that again? No, just make that sound again. That's right. I want to record that. But that's good. Yes. Okay. Yes. Okay. What else? Yes.
I think also too, a lot of men, I know a lot of men, they weren't raised with positive reinforcement. They weren't raised, just with good feedback or how to really be what we would call a man. So being the woman in their life, when we can either uplift them or we can bring them down.
That's good. Yes.
I'm thinking about that scripture that says that a wise woman builds her home, but a foolish woman tears it down with her own hands. So criticizing your husband is only tearing down your own home. You're not being wise. You are breaking the spirit of the person that God gave you that goes out there and tries to make it happen every single day of his life for his family. So being negative, talking about him to other people, to destroying who he is as a human being, his character, his reputation, his spirit, you're only doing this to your own household.
That's true. Let me ask you a question. Anybody ever see a cat or a dog that's been abused? Anybody? I'm not talking about the commercial. I'm talking about a real life dog that they're so skittish that, you know, you go to, oh, that, and they think they're going to get beaten or something. Okay? Anybody ever see a child that's been so verbally abused that they have absolutely no self-confidence whatsoever? Anybody see that? Okay? Is it any different for a man or a woman? Do you know that if you tell somebody they're a piece of trash long enough, they're going to start to believe it? Do you know that if you continually knock them down, verbally, mentally, you know, women love to talk about physical abuse. But I can promise you that there's a lot of men out there that are mentally and verbally abused. Oh, you may not lay a hand on your man. Well, I know Gilbert, but that's another story. But I know that it's very easy for a man, and then all of a sudden, now your woman's already picking on you because now you got no confidence. You're a wilted flower. You're in the corner. You have no self-esteem, no passion, no nothing. And so, why is that? Listen, I don't think that people realize the power of words. I don't think that people realize what can be done in a hurtful manner in the same way that it can be done in a positive manner to build up. You know, we've talked about so many times, you know, you don't go in and you start off with you never or you always, unless it's in a positive way. You never do this for me. You never tell me this. You never's like a long time. Or on the opposite end of the scale, always. You always do this, always? I mean, that's pretty powerful because then the person starts really questioning themselves. Am I really that much of a piece of trash that I can't get it right? Yes.
You, period. In a negative context, as soon as you say you, it's a fact that that person's brain is shut down. It's better to say, I feel this way when somebody says, my shoes are ugly, you know, whatever it may be, that attack the person. As soon as you say you do this, they shut down and they're in defense mode.
That's good. Yes.
I wanted to say, I know this is tough for couples that struggle to hear this. It's a touchy conversation we're having. But we want people to know that this is why we're here. We're in this together as a group.
the thing is, and there's a number of resources out there to get you help. Pastor Joe does counseling, I do counseling, Pastor Fred does counseling. We can refer you to counseling. The school district offers counseling. I mean, there's a multitude of things. The thing with me is, any of you have talked to me, most of you know is I don't sugarcoat. I'm going to give it to you straight. Oh, we can be all nice and biblical, and I can give you scripture and do that, but some of you need a kick in the butt. A realistic, whirly, good old-fashioned boot in the booty, okay? Because you got these ideas, and some people can be so heavenly minded that they're no earthly good, okay? If you just, take scripture and don't get me wrong, okay, I am a pastor, but some of you just need to be brought back into reality. We all want fantasy. Well, my husband should be this, or my wife should be this, let's be realistic. We're human beings. We're all sinners. We all miss the mark. We all have problems. So how are we going to fix it?
That's right.
Okay?
Everybody that's sitting in here knows, understands, realizes that they've got a tiger by the tail. They're here for a reason. Everybody needs help. There's a lot of people outside the walls of this building, in general society, that need to be here.
That's right.
Listen to this kind of stuff.
That's right. I've been telling people that for 7 years.
Say that guys, women, guys, they can get frustrated, they just give up.
Yeah.
All right, and it's easy to do. It's the easiest thing in the world to do is just walk away. But it takes a lot more than the gut to hang in there, tough it out, understand where you're at.
It takes more of a man to stay than it does to go.
That's right.
So, and this is why, you keep rolling your eyes at me when I tell you, you need to invite somebody. It's not like inviting somebody to church. This is inviting somebody for your relationship. Man, you married? You care about your marriage? You got to come check this out. Because that's the reality of it. We've been talking about how important communication is and being able to go deeper below the surface conversation of how was your day, this and that. And when we're done with the series, we're going into communication. So I'm telling you, this is your opportunity. If you want invite cards, we have invite cards. Get people here. I'll keep adding chairs. If we have to go to 2 different days to do fusion, we'll do 2 different days to do fusion.
All right.
Whatever it takes, because that's what we need to do. I know you say, well, I ain't going to do 2 days. Okay, I'll do 2 days. You can just pick one. But nonetheless, this is what I'm willing to do to minister to the people that need it. And we love this. Let me go here and then I'll go there. Yes?
I just have a quick question for you.
Okay, no.
I remember when you guys went to the
Yeah.
are you guys ever planning on doing that?
We're just waiting for them to ask us back. Yeah, that's all. Yes?
I just want to say that I appreciate having this input, and there's like a handful of people in this room that tried to help my relationship, and I didn't listen, and I had to give up. So, Fusion Ministry, now being a strong single mother, has taught me what I need to look for, and what is going to be a better husband for my family, and what I deserve.
That's
I
awesome.
thought I had to put up with his machismo, and what I said that made a difference. I ran away a lot of times and always found me. So coming to the church the first week of my loneliness and seeing Seth and Becca get married, I knew there was a better thing that I'm not in my life.
Awesome. That is awesome. Thank you. I'm glad you appreciate her input. Too late, Carolina. It's too late. Okay. So let me give you 2 pieces of, maybe you should read the scripture. Because they appreciate your input. No, too late. You notice I didn't give you a ding, Carolina? All right, Ephesians 5:22. Wives, understand and support your husbands in ways that show your support for Christ. The husband provides leadership to his wife the way Christ does to his church, not by domineering, but by cherishing. So just as the church submits to Christ, As he exercises such leadership, wives should likewise submit to their husbands. 1 Thessalonians 5:11 says, so encourage each other and build each other up, just as you are already doing. Quick comment. Quick comment.
The thing that you've always said before, and, you know, when we first started coming here, I'm gonna tell you right now, our relationship is a lot better with God in it. And, you know, there's a lot of people, if people don't stop coming because they have issues or whatever, they think they can do it on their own, they're wrong. Because I told him recently, me and him had a nice little conversation, and I said to him, I said, you know, our life, I feel, is 100% a lot better having God and being a part of being Christians than being out there in the world by ourselves, having the troubles that you have in a relationship. So thank you and Claudia both for
Dave.
Dave for you. But thank you because this has helped me have a better outlook on having a relationship.
Well, this is why we do it. Amen. All right, we're going to take an offering. If you, again, I know I'm repetitive every week, but I got to remind you, if you want it to go to Fusion, it's got to say Fusion on the envelope. If you need an envelope, raise your hand, but there should be plenty of envelopes there. If you want something to go to the church. Listen, for those of you that don't normally go to church, okay, today's a great day for you to check it out. There's an illustrated sermon. What does that mean? It's like a play. It's about the Lord's Last Supper. So if you want, you know, if you just kind of like getting your feet wet when it comes to going to church, you're not like all into it every week and everything, I encourage you to check it out. There's no cost for admission or anything like that. So you have the option to go do that. All right? Appreciate you guys coming. Really, you have no idea how much I appreciate you guys coming. If you want any invite cards, come and see me. If you have, Crystal and Eric are walking around with the offering bags. God bless you guys. Have a great day.